Hi, hello, welcome to this class for backbending. This is week 3 of our backbending series. If you haven't joined us for the previous 2 classes, you are welcome to take those before you take this one. We build up skills over time, but this also works as a drop-in class if you're ready to take on some bigger, deeper backbends. We won't need any props for today's class, just enough space to spread out our arms and our legs in all directions. So make sure you've got that space around you. If you are using my playlist today, I'm going to go ahead and start it right about now. Right now. So that way we are synced up. And to start today, let's find child's pose. So take the knees about as wide as your mat, big toes touch. Walk the hands out until the forehead touches down to the mat. Now take a moment to wiggle the body out and find a comfortable space to land. And the moment that you get here, find a place of stillness. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And release a smooth exhale through the nose. What does it feel like to arrive here now? That emotional connection that we have to the present moment, to our bodies and to ourselves, it is ever changing. And it's supposed to be. So if you woke up feeling happy or joyful or grateful this morning, and right now you're feeling something else, that's okay. And if a few moments ago you were feeling sad or upset, now you're starting to feel calm, notice that. Allow the inhales and the exhales to grow deeper within the body. Allow whatever emotion that's present in the heart right now to expand. So with your next exhale, get emptier, pushing all of the air out so that you have even more space to fill up with this inhale, allowing the breath to expand the heart space, expand the emotion that's living there right now. And then again, get empty, even emptier, so that you have even more space to fill with breath. What would it feel like right now if I allowed myself to be here exactly the way I am? What if I didn't have to hold anything back? If I didn't have to pretend? If I didn't have to fake it? If I didn't have to say I'm fine when I'm not? What if I could allow myself to show up for myself as I am right now? Let's see what that idea does for the body here. So maybe the forehead sinks a little bit deeper into the floor. Maybe the knees and shins and tops of the feet get heavier. And let's make a commitment, set an intention for our practice right now. Anytime that distraction or negative thought or judgment comes into your head during this practice, allow it to become an opportunity to come back to the feeling in the heart. An opportunity to come back to yourself again and again and again. Today we make the commitment that goes like this. I will not leave myself. In the course of this practice, I will not leave myself. I will sit here with myself, with whatever is coming up, whatever is present in the heart for the entirety of today's practice. And of course, you will drift away here and there, but come back to the heart again and again and over again. Take a big breath in through the nose. Big breath out through the nose. All right, let's start to introduce some motion. Keeping the forehead heavy on the earth, take the hands back alongside the body, palms turn up towards the sky. And then curl the fingertips in and make fists. Keeping the backs of the wrists grounded on the mat, peel the back of the hand up so that your knuckles are pointing towards the sky as the wrists are anchored heavily. Big wrist stretch, inhale. And with the exhale, release. And drive the knees down, inhale, roll the torso all the way up so that you're sitting on your heels. And with the exhale, flip the palms over so the fingertips point towards the top of the mat, and then lean back onto the shoulder blades, lift the heart. Inhale, come back up to a tall seat, maybe rising up onto the fingertips, and then exhale, we melt right back down to where we came. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lay the heart back. Shoulder blades glide together on the back body as you expand through the heart space. Inhale, rise back up tall. And exhale, curl in on yourself, melting back down to the floor. Inhale, peel up. Exhale, lay the heart open. Inhale, rise. And exhale, melt. Let's do 3 more in your own time. We'll try to make this as fluid as it can possibly be. You might even want to lift the hips up off of the heels here, activating the glutes. With this exhale, we meet in child's pose. Let's take that wrist stretch one more time. Curl the fingertips in to make fists, and then peel the backs of the hands up, wrists heavy. Big breath in. And release. Slide the hands underneath the shoulders and inhale, rise to tabletop. From tabletop, inhale, drop the belly. Pull the heart forward, lift the chin, lift the gaze. Exhale, push through the palms, spread the shoulder blades apart, let the head get heavy as the navel lifts. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, round. So today's class is focusing on back bending. We're focusing on what the lower body is doing here. So with your inhale, try to tear the mat apart with the knees as the tailbone lifts up. Let the back bend distribute through the entire spine evenly as the heart pulls forward, chin lifts. And exhale, tailbone turns down. Knees are still tearing the mat apart as the navel folds up into the spine. One more. Inhale back to a neutral spine. Because so many of us are practicing on different types of flooring right now in your home, let's turn the fingertips towards the outer edges of the mat. Start to sway from side to side and notice how the weight shifts from different portions of the palms and fingers. Notice if anything feels tweaky or out of the ordinary. Fingertips turn towards the back diagonal corners of the mat, and this time circle the hips to circle the shoulders. Maybe the heels of the palms pop up, maybe they stay grounded. No matter what, keep the knuckles behind the fingers pressing down into the earth. Reverse your circles. If this feels good, you might take it a level deeper. Fingertips point towards the knees and then rock forward and back. Again, heels of the palms might pop up, but the knuckles stay grounded. Good. One more round. Fingertips point towards the top of the mat. This time, let's walk the knees back in space just a little bit so the wrists are ahead of the shoulders. Hips stay stacked over the knees, and then walk the hands out, coming down into puppy pose, letting the chest sink while the hips stay high. Maybe the forehead touches the mat. Keep pushing the palms down so that the forearms and elbows are lifted and active. Inhale to expand the heart space. Exhale to let the back of the heart get heavy towards the mat. As you do this, you might realize you have more space, so allow the chest to sink and maybe the chin comes to the mat. Palms are still pressing down, elbows lift, forearms active. Inhale, bend at the elbows, slide the chest forward, let the forearms drop. Shoulders stack over the elbows, and then lift the knees for forearm plank. Drag the heels to the back of the mat, core lifted, hips low. Two more. One more. From here, press back up to plank pose. Lift the hips back to our downward facing dog. Let this be easy. So bend the knees, pedal the feet, sway the hips from side to side. Find stillness, a little bit of length through the spine, so bend the knees. Push the chest up and back, send the tailbone up and back, and then tuck the chin to the chest so the back of the neck is long. Big breath in. Sigh it out. Inhale, lift the heels, lift the hips, bend the knees, tiptoe walk the feet up behind the wrists. At the top, keep the knees bent lightly. Inhale, halfway lift, hands on the shins. Stretch the heart forward, pull the shoulders back. Exhale, melt. Inhale, halfway lift. Peel the heart forward. Lift the belly to support the low back. And then get empty. Pull the navel into the spine. Squeeze all the air out as you fold, so that you have a lot of space to inhale, replenish the breath. And fold. Inhale, mountain pose. Reach all the way up to the sky this time. Exhale, hands to heart center. Close the eyes. Recommit. I will not leave myself. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, flat back, fold to the earth. Maybe a little bend in the knees. Release the back of the neck at the bottom. Inhale, halfway lift. Replenish the breath. Inflate. Exhale, plant the palms. Step back, plank pose. Take a breath in at the top. Exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Point the toes, lift the knees, inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, melt. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, release. One more, inhale, peel the chest up and back. Exhale, hover the hands off the earth so you really feel the shoulder blades glide together on the back body. One more inhale, lift just a little bit higher, knees are still active. Exhale, release. Send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 long breaths in this down dog. Inhale, lift the heels, lift the hips, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, step, step, or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise and reach to standing. Exhale, hands through heart center and down to the side bodies. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, reach up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant the palms, step or jump back, Chaturanga Dandasana, lower halfway, elbows kiss the ribs. Inhale, upward facing dog, pull the heart through the upper arms as the thighs lift away from the earth. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. And breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, lift the right leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, step the right foot up between the palms. Inhale, lift the right arm high to the sky. From here, let's bring some attention to the hips and make sure that we're not twisting from the hips, but rather from the spine, especially from the center of the spine, the thoracic spine. So let's lift the left hip. I like to take my hand to the low back so I can really feel what's going on there. So a lot of lift to the left hip. You can't lift it too high. And then imagine that you're sitting down into a chair through the right thigh. So you should be able to feel a flatness across the hips, like you've got a T-tray balance there. From here, take the heart forward, look forward. Exhale, pull the navel back, wrap the left ribs towards the right inner thigh without changing the hips at all. If you're feeling good, inhale, right arm extends up. Let's take one more breath in. Exhale, right palm down, step the left foot to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, reach all the way up. Exhale, baby back bend, cactus the arms, push the hips forward, squeeze the glutes as you lean the chest onto the shoulder blades, which are gliding together. Inhale, reach back up to the sky, neutral spine. Exhale, interlace the hands behind the back. Inhale, descend the fist, lift the heart. Exhale, fold forward with your bind. Put a little bend in the knees as you hinge at the hips and let the fists fall away from the low back. Inhale, halfway lift through the spine. Let the belly slide forward on the thighs, finding more length. And then exhale, put some reach through the biceps as the head gets heavy. And with your breath, let the back of the heart expand. Exhale, release the hands to the low back. Plant the palms underneath the shoulders. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step or jump back. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way to the floor. From here, we'll take a cobra variation. So let's start with the right arm. Take the right forearm parallel to the top of your mat. And then make sure that you've got the right elbow about right underneath the shoulder. So you're already kind of lifting the chest, pushing the floor away, keeping yourself from sinking into that shoulder. Bend the left knee, hug the left heel in towards the hip. And then reach the left arm back, catch the foot. You can start to pull the foot back in towards the hip and then kick the foot back into the hand. Now, if you have a lot of openness through the chest and a lot of space to work with in the front of this left quad, you might start to take the hand towards the top of the toes, palm connecting to the top of the toes, and then start to swivel the fingertips forward as the elbow lifts into the sky. Again, drive the hand down and then kick the foot back into that hand, lengthening the left kneecap back in space. Inhale, turn the heart forward, keep the right elbow driving down. With your breath, can you expand the surface area of the left front thigh? One more breath here. Exhale, release. Hands underneath the shoulders, push back to tabletop, and we meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose, step the left foot through between the palms. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Option to bring the left hand down to the hips, elevate right hip, sit down through the left thigh. Inhale, reach the heart forward. Exhale, navel back, wrap the right ribs closer to the left inner thigh, and the left arm reaches up if you're feeling good. One more breath in. Exhale, left palm down, step to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to standing, reach up. Exhale, cactus the arms, baby back bend. Glutes squeeze strongly, push the thighs up against an imaginary wall. Inhale, reach back up, neutral spine. Exhale, interlace the palms behind the back. This time, step the feet about hip width apart as you descend the fists and lift the chest. Exhale, fold forward, little bend in the knees. Now, if you'd like to stay in stillness, you're welcome to, or I'm going to add some movement here. Take a deep bend into the right knee. Let the fists fall to the right. Open the chest to the left. Inhale. Exhale through center. Bend the left knee. Fists fall to the left. Open the chest to the right. Inhale. Exhale through center. Release the hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms. Plank pose. Exhale, lower all the way to the floor. Let's get the left side. Untuck the toes. This time, left forearm parallel to the top of the mat. Left elbow underneath the shoulder. Bend the right knee. Heel towards the bum. Reach the right hand back. Catch the foot. All right. Push your pubic bone down. Lift your navel up and in. And then as you push the foot back towards the bum, kick the foot back into the hand. If you have a lot of range here, bring the palm to the top of the toes. Start to spin the palm so the fingertips point forward and the elbow lifts straight up into the sky. Big breaths into the front of the right thigh, right quad. One more breath here. Exhale, release. Hands underneath the shoulders. Push back to tabletop and all the way back into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels, lift the hips, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, step, or hop to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. Set the hips low, reach the arms up. As you exhale, bring the weight into the heels, sit back into the hips. Inhale, one leg tadasana, right knee to the chest, standing leg goes straight. Take a moment to find your drishti. If you're wiggling and wobbling, make that part of this. Make that part of the experience of the practice. It is not separate from, it is not distinct from the pose. It is part of the pose. As you've started to find a steady gazing point, steady the body. Pull the navel back. Lift the right knee just a little bit higher, flex the right toes. Left hand comes to the hip, bring the right palm on top of the right knee. From here, try to push your knee down towards the floor and then don't let that knee drop. So drive the knee back up into the hand. There's tension in the connection here. Big breath in. Exhale, open the knee out to the right. Still pressing down with the palm and lifting up through the knee. Inhale. Exhale, step the right foot to the back of the mat for warrior two. Make sure you've got a nice wide stance, enough that you can feel the front sole of the foot pushing forward, front knee drifting forward, and then pinky edge side of the back foot and outer edge of the back leg driving back in space. Big breath in. With the exhale, lean forward, reach forward, get long through the left side body, and then left elbow lands on the knee or left hand drops to the floor or block. Begin to circle the right arm high to the sky. As the hand drops towards the earth, scoop up a piece of earth and then sweep it back up to the sky. And you might even follow the thumb with your gaze, allowing the chest to open as the hand passes 12 o'clock noon. Let's take 3, 2, and 1. As the right arm sweeps up to noon, let that carry the whole chest up into a high lunge, back heel elevates. And as you exhale, let the left hand fall to the back of the mat, opening you up into a twist towards the left side of the room. Deep bend in the front knee. Inhale, lift up through the front body. Exhale, get a little bit deeper in the front lunge, hips get low. Drop the back hand to the back thigh. Inhale, exalted warrior. Right arm reaches up to the sky as the chest squares off to the top of the mat. Exhale, back to warrior two. Back heel spins down, windmill the arms. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the palms down. Slide the left foot back, plank. Option to take a vinyasa, or this time I'm going to skip. It's up to you to decide what you need. We meet in down dog on your next exhale. Breathe in and let it go. Inhale, lift the heels, lift the hips, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, step or hop to the top. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chair pose. And exhale, find some sit to your sitting bones. Inhale, everything above the navel rises, belly and chest. Armpits and fingertips. Exhale, just get a little bit lower below the navel. Inhale, one leg Tadasana, left knee into the chest. Find your drishti, one point to look at, to hold the gaze. Make the body steady. Navel back, left knee's lifting. Right hand to the hip, left palm onto the left knee. Inhale, drive the palm down, lift the knee up. With the exhale, open the knee to the left side of the mat. Keep the same amount of pressure, and then hug the right glute in towards the center line. That's going to stabilize us here. So notice if you're kind of, I'll demo here. Notice if you're kind of leaning out through this right hip. Scoop that right glute, right hip in for the support. Let's take one more breath in. And exhale, step the left foot to the back of the mat, warrior two. Find a nice long stance. Glutes are still working here, pushing both sides of the groin towards the left side of the mat. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach forward, get long through right side body. Exhale, drop the elbow to the knee or hand to the floor. Inhale, left arm circles up to the sky. Exhale, sweep it down to scoop up some earth, and then lift it up. For 3, and 2. And this one carries you all the way up to high lunge, back heel pivots. On the exhale, right hand falls to the back of the mat, opening you up into a twist. Inhale, deep lunge in the front knee. Exhale, get heavy below the navel. And drop the back hand to the back thigh. Inhale, exalted warrior, left arm lifts up. This time I want you to think about drawing your tailbone down towards your front heel, almost like you're trying to rotate, not almost, you are trying to rotate the pelvis here, rather tilt the pelvis. So tailbone drops heavy and the front hip points lift up, creating more extension through the front of the left hip. Big breath in. Exhale, warrior two, back heel spins down, windmill the arms. Inhale, reverse warrior, lift up out of the right hip crease. Exhale, cartwheel the palms down, step back, plank. Option to take a vinyasa of your choosing, or we meet with the hips back and down dog on your next exhale. Breathe in. Let it go. Inhale, send the right leg up and back. Exhale, step the right foot outside of the right hand. And start to rock forward and back on the back toes, noticing the length through the front of the left hip. And drop the back knee down to the earth. Untuck the back toes. Take a moment to push the floor away through the palms. Lift the heart, broaden the collarbones. With your exhale, hug the back heel in towards the hip. So you start to feel a quad stretch here. And we're going to keep this active just for a moment. So you're really feeling the hamstring working. The quad is lengthening. A lot of work for the posterior chain of this left leg. And from here, inhale, reach the right arm high to the sky. Exhale, turn the chest open to the right side. Maybe you catch the foot, maybe you don't. It's up to you. You can keep this active. If you have the range, you might catch the foot or the ankle. Now, if you've got hold of the foot, try hugging the heel in closer by bending the elbow, and then kick the foot back into the hand so there's some tension in that connection. Let's take one more breath in. Exhale, release. Right hand comes back underneath the shoulder. Let's walk the hands back for half split. Right leg straightens, hips slide back, palms frame the front thigh. Pull the toes back towards the shin, and then try wrapping your right hip crease back, tugging your right heel back in space to find a little bit more hamstring stretch here. Inhale, reach the heart forward. Exhale to bow. Inhale, come back up. Walk back to a low lunge position and lift the back knee. Inhale, high lunge, rise up. Exhale, find a steady positioning through the legs here. If you need to, you can step the right foot wider on the mat. Breathe in. Exhale, power lunge, hinge forward, sweep the hands back. Core is tucked in, supporting you off of this front thigh, shoulder blade squeeze. Inhale, peel the back foot up until just the big toe is touching down, and then hug the right hip crease in towards the center line. So oftentimes when we come into this power lunge, this right hip is swinging out wide to the side. Engage the glute and hug it in behind you. Inhale, warrior three, back heel lifts up. Exhale, squeeze the shoulders, lift the navel. Inhale, lift the left thigh just a little bit higher. Stay here for your exhale. Inhale, one leg Tadasana, reach the arms up, lift the left knee into the chest. Exhale, release the left hand down next to the left hip and hold a serving platter. Hug the left heel back towards the hip, catch the inner arch of the left foot for dancer's pose. Take a breath in to hug the inner thighs together, lengthen through the front body, and with an exhale, kick the foot back into the hand. Now, don't hinge the chest forward until you absolutely need to counterbalance the back leg. But let the chest moving forward come as a result of what's going on in the back leg rather than the movement coming from the chest first and then the leg. And then that same hugging in of right hip in towards the center line, little squeeze to the left glute. And if you step out, that's okay. It's part of the pose. It's part of the process. Join me again. Step back in if you need to. Inhale, dancer. And final breath. Lightly come back to standing. Step the left foot to the back of the mat. Feet go parallel. Hands to the hips. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold forward for Prasarita Padottanasana. Hands come underneath the shoulders. If you want to get upside down during today's practice, maybe you want to get into headstand or forearm stand or handstand, go ahead and do that. If that's not part of your practice, you're welcome to just let the spine decompress and hang heavy for a couple of breaths. Or if you want some direction here, I'll take this into a deeper hamstring stretch. Walk the hands over towards the right ankle. Take a breath in and reach the crown of the head towards the top of the mat. And with an exhale, fold deeply into the right leg. Now, in the process of finding this deep hamstring stretch, the hips will have shifted towards the back of the mat. Can you reach your right hip crease and right sitting bone back towards the top of the mat, keeping the hips square? If you've gotten upside down, start to come down. One more breath here in this fold. If you've been with me in this hamstring stretch, lightly release, come back to center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk the hands to the top of the mat for a runner's lunge. Slowly plant the palms, slide the right foot back into plank. Take a big breath in. Option to take a vinyasa or skip it, lower halfway or all the way. Inhale, cobra up dog. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step the left foot outside of the left hand. Rock forward and back on the back toes. Notice how your hip flexors on the right side are feeling. And then drop the back knee down. Inhale to lift the chest, broaden your collarbones. Exhale, hug the right heel in towards the bum. Keep this active, feel the hamstring work. If you're starting to cramp here, rather than straightening the leg, keep the heel pulling in, ride it out through the cramping. What happens when the muscle is cramping is that it's getting knotted up. And if we just extend the leg out, there's a chance that we'll tear that knotted area, tear that hamstring. So as best as you can, ride it out if you're getting a cramp here. Inhale, left arm reaches up to the sky. Exhale, circle it to the back of the mat. Option to keep this active, or maybe you catch the foot or the ankle. If you've got hold, bend the elbow, pull the foot in towards the hip, and then kick the foot back into the hand. And just like we did before in that cobra variation, with your inhale, expand the surface area of the right quadricep. You're breathing life back into these parts of the body. Exhale, lightly release. Hand comes back underneath the shoulder. Walk it back for half split. Hips slide back, left leg goes long, toes turn up towards the sky. Tug the left hip back, left hamstring turns on. Take a big breath in, reach the heart forward. And exhale to melt. Inhale, walk forward into a low lunge position. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and inhale, rise to high lunge. Find a steady position with the legs. Left foot can walk towards the left side of the mat if you need more stability. Take a breath in, lengthen the front body from the pubic bone to the fingertips. Exhale, hinge forward for power lunge. Navel lifts. Hug the left hip in. A lot of squeeze to that left glute. Little squeeze to the shoulders. Inhale, peel the back foot up until just the big toes touching. Again, make sure that left hip is hugging in, and then warrior three, back heel lifts. With the inhale, let the chest and the front of the right thigh lift, find some buoyancy. And with the exhale, navel strong, left hip hugs in, ribs down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, firm your points of strength. Ribs, navel, left hip. One more breath in. Inhale, one leg Tadasana. Right knee carries up into the chest as the arms rise. Exhale, drop the right hand next to the right hip like you've got a serving tray. Kick the right heel back towards the hip, knee points towards the floor. Catch the inner arch of the foot. Inhale, hug the inner thighs together. Lengthen from the pubic bone through the fingertips. Exhale, kick the foot back into the hand. Let the leg move first. You only move the chest to counterbalance what's going on behind you. Hug left hip in. Hug right hip in. Both glutes are working here. Inhale. Exhale. Let's take two more. One more. Exhale, come back to center. Step right foot to the back of the mat. Wide leg forward fold, toes turn in. Inhale, hands to the hips. Open the heart. Exhale, hinge at the hips and fold. Hands underneath the shoulders. Second opportunity to get upside down or to let the spine hang. If you want to take a bind, you can do that as well. Otherwise, come with me to the left ankle. Walk the hands over to the left ankle. Inhale, halfway lift, crown of the head towards the top of the mat, and then pay attention to where the hips are in space here. They might have already swayed towards the right side, towards the back of the mat. So try tugging left hip crease, left sitting bone back towards the top, and then fold, maintaining that squareness of the hips. Inhale, come back to center, halfway lift. Exhale, walk to the top of the mat, runner's lunge. Slide the left leg back, plank pose, inhale. Exhale, lower halfway or all the way, knees or no knees. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. And breathe in through the nose. Out through the nose. Inhale, lift the heels, lift the hips, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, step, or hop to a seat. And we'll come into Navasana. And lift the feet, balancing on the sitting bones. Take a breath in, lift the heart. Pull your navel down and in. Inhale, lay yourself back to half boat. So low back is glued down. Take a breath. Exhale, right knee to the chest, lift up. Inhale, half. Exhale, lift. Alternating knees, navel pulling back each time. Last 3 sets. Last set. Good. Release, hug the knees into the chest. Soles of the feet to the mat. Feet about hip width apart. And then try to tear the mat apart between the feet so you're turning on those hip adductors. Inhale, push the feet down, lift the hips up for bridge pose. Hands can rest at your sides or interlace them underneath the back body. Push the upper arms down so you're lifting the back of the heart away from the earth as much as possible. Back of the neck long. And then rather than tilting the tailbone back towards your hands, draw the tailbones towards your heels. Draw the tailbone, singular, towards your heels or the backs of the knees. A lot of squeeze to the glutes, but then again, tear the mat apart between the feet. Big breath into the belly. Expand that space with your breath. 2 more full breaths, just like this. 1 more. Tailbone points towards the backs of the knees. Lengthen the low back. Squeeze the glutes. Exhale, lower, slow. Take the feet to the outer edges of the mat and then windshield wipe the knees from side to side. We'll take 1 more back bend today. You're welcome to take bridge pose again, or I'm going to walk through wheel, upward facing bow pose, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Feet back underneath the knees, about hip width apart. Make sure you can touch the heels with your fingertips. If you're with me for wheel, take the hands back towards the ears, fingertips point towards the shoulders. The elbows will have a tendency to splay out towards the sides of the mat and the inner palms to roll up. Ground the palms, especially the space between thumbs and index fingers, and then hug the elbows in towards the center line of the body. Inhale, push through the feet, push through the palms, come up to the crown of the head. Just make sure you're feeling okay here. Elbows hug in, knees hug in, squeeze the glutes. On your next breath in, push the floor away and lift all the way up into wheel. All right. Squeeze the glutes. Try to tear them out apart between the feet. So knees and feet are pressing out as the glutes squeeze in towards the center line. Tailbone points towards the backs of the knees, low back is long. And you might even find a little bit of extra push through the feet and send the chest towards the wall that you're looking at. Big breaths into the belly. 2 more. One more. Exhale, chin to the chest, bend the elbows, lower, slow. Feet to the outer edges of the mat. Drop the knees in towards each other. Breathe through the nose, maybe one hand on the heart and the other hand on top. How does that feel in the body? Big breath in. Let it go. From here, let's take figure 4 to rinse out the hips. Cross right ankle over left knee. Flex the right toes back towards the shin. Push the right knee away without using your hands. So just strength, the rotational strength of the femur and the hip socket. And from here, if you want more, hug the left knee in. Hands can wrap around the back of the thigh or front of the shin. If you want even more from here, bend the right elbow, push the right knee away. A little bit of rocking across the low back if that feels good. Release left foot, right foot, other side. Left ankle on right knee. Push the left knee away. Left toes pull back towards the shin. Option to hug right knee in. Maybe hands around the shin or thigh. Bend the left elbow, push it out into the left knee for a little bit extra. And some rocking if it feels good across the low back. And lightly release both feet to the mat, and then hug both knees into the chest. Let's take the arms wide into a T shape. Take a big breath in through the nose. And drop both knees over to the right. You can adjust the intensity of this twist. Knees closer to the right armpit will make it more intense. Knees closer to the top of the mat will make it less intense. Option to look left or look up towards the sky. Take a big breath in through the nose. Bigger sigh out through the mouth. Inhale, left knee back to center, right knee will follow. And exhale, both knees drop to the left. Right shoulder heavy, option to look right. Same options to adjust the intensity by playing around with the positioning of the knees. One more big breath in. Release it through the mouth. Inhale, right knee back to center, left knee follows. Happy baby. Catch the outer edges of the feet. Pull down towards the armpits. Squish a grape underneath the low back. Feel the entire length of the spine on the floor. And then try pushing your feet back up towards the ceiling as the hands are pulling down towards the floor. And you might find a little bit more juice in those hips. And release the feet, curl the knees into the chest. Take a big breath in and lift the chest to the thighs, lift the head to the knees. Hold the breath in, squeeze yourself tightly and strongly. Sip in just a little bit more air if you have the room. Exhale to your Shavasana. Allow yourself to be present with the rhythms of the heart. Even within this one posture of Shavasana, you might find that your sensations in the body and the feelings in your heart may shift, may transform. As best as you can, ride the waves of that transformation, staying present through each phase of it. Take a big breath in through the nose. Let it go. Wiggle fingers and toes. Drop one ear to the mat and then the other, massaging the back of the skull. And on a big breath in, reach the arms overhead, full body stretch. Interlace the fingers, push the palms away from you, and then point the toes. And exhale, knees into the chest. Roll to your right side, using the right arm as a cushion for the head. And gently press the palms down to come up to a comfortable seat. As you land, close the eyes, bring the hands to heart center. A moment of gratitude for practicing not just the physical postures, but practicing this ability to be present with whatever we're carrying, good, bad, ugly, beautiful, and anywhere in between. Take the thumbs up to the third eye between the brows. Big breath in. Share your breath with the room. As we bow forward in reverence to each other, together we say, Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice and your presence with me today. If you enjoyed this class, please like, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment of anything else you would love to work on or want to see in upcoming classes, and look out for week 4 of our backbending series. It will be up in the next week. Until then, namaste.